Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity once again. Shout out to y'all, and man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join the Rich Gang family, man, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications, hit that like button, and do not forget to leave a comment down below when complete. Now, as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, today I am bringing y'all the top 3 most rare, broken, power forward builds on NBA 2K22 next gen. And as y'all can see, first up, I got a very special 2-way post playmaker build, and as we go along, the build names are only going to continue to get even more rare, but also the builds are also going to continue to get even better, y'all. So with this first one, I'm going to be going with 6'8". As for the weight, I'm liking 280. Then with the wingspan I'm going to go with is going to be 7'6". Now on all of these builds, you can really make them basing them off of your own preference and how you want to make them. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to base them off of my own style, what I found the best way to make them as, and also we're going to be able to get 100 badges on each and every one of these builds. So if you are still here watching, man, just know I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, and I thank y'all. And just be sure to follow along with each and every individual stat that I do bring to y'all. So as you can see with the finishing, I'm going to go ahead and get up to 21 badges right here. Then for the shooting, I'm going to bring this up to 23. When it comes down to the playmaking, for my liking, I really feel like 21 badges is going to be more than enough for this type of power forward build. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, this is a very important part on each and every one of these power forward builds. As you can see, when it comes down to being a power forward, if you are playing big, you have got to make sure that you throw some defensive stats into this area of the build, because if not, I'm telling you, you're going to be taking a huge hit with what this build is going to be able to do, and also on the defensive end for your team. So as you can see, I'm going to leave it to where we get 31 total badges. Make sure for the vertical on the physicals, you go up to an 80. Same thing for the strength, and that's going to allow us to get the best elite contact dunks on 2K. Now, this is pretty much what the badge setup is going to be looking like, and remember, we're going to be able to get an extra 10 or even 9 badges when it comes down to this build, depending on how many seasons you have already completed. But as you can see, we get the shot creating takeover paired up with the sharpshooting, playmaking, and then we also get the rim protecting. So, whichever one you decide to go with, base it off of your own playstyle. For me, I'm going with ankle breaking shots takeover, just so that way I could break ankles and still get that shooting boost. Secondly, I'm going to go with one of the rim protecting takeovers. I'm going to leave it up to y'all just to help out on the defensive end. That's why I picked it. And as y'all can see, we have made the 2-way post playmaker build, and look at that comparison of Anthony Davis. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second build on this list. And as y'all can see, a multi-position defender build at the power forward position with rim protecting takeover, and we're going to be making this build a little bit taller than the previous, going up to 6'9", and also the weight of 210. Really going to make a huge difference on this build, how we look at it, and especially with what it's able to do. I made it a very special and particular way just to make it more unique, rather than making it like any other multi-position defender build. I had to go ahead and throw my own taste and style to it. So man, before we get any further into this video, we are already about to be more than halfway through, and y'all still have not hit that like button. So what I need y'all to do, to those of you who have not, be sure to go ahead and smack it. Go ahead and turn on post notifications, hit that sub button so you can join the Rich Gang family, and from there, leave a comment down below, because I love being interactive with y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the making of this build. The very first thing that you're going to want to go ahead and do is make sure you're putting this build all the way up to 6'9". And also remember that with these builds, I went based off of my own playstyle as well as my preference. So if you see something that you personally would change about any of these builds, go ahead and take that risk and see what you like about it. So as you can see with the weight, also I did go with 210, 7'7" wingspan, and the 6'9" height is really going to take you over the top with being able to play on the inside. Now right here, the post control is very high. Same thing with that driving dunk. Then when it comes down to the total badge count, we're going to be able to get a total of 22 badges. Now personally, I feel like that's going to be paired up very well when you compare it to the shooting stats. A total of 23 badges here. Now let's go ahead and check out what the playmaking is going to be looking like for this lockdown type build. A 76 ball handle with a 68 speed with ball, 72 pass accuracy, giving us a total of 18 badges. Now let's go ahead and check out what makes this build a multi-position defender. So as you can see, we're going to be able to get that 99 block, very toxic, and a total of 25 defensive badges with an 82 perimeter defense and a 79 interior. As for the vertical on the physicals, make sure you go with an 80 so that way we are able to also still speed boost on this build, but even so, get the pro contact dunks unlocked. Now, once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of which takeover we pick, that's going to play a huge factor and role in this build, because if you do decide to pick a certain takeover, I'm just going to let you know now, you're going to be able to speed boost. And even if you go about making this build a different way, I promise you there are definitely different versions of this build that you can make and use, but this one today, in my opinion, is easily the best all around, most versatile, especially with what you can do. So we get the sharpshooting takeover, lockdown, rim protecting, and the post scoring. To make this build the best possible to pair it up with that speed boost, I would go ahead and pick the sharpshooting takeover, possibly even with one of the post scoring takeovers or straight up the paint intimidation. Now, this comes down to your own personal preference and your own play style. I'm going to go with the lockdown as well as the rim protecting. And as y'all can see, we have made the multi-position defender build. And I'm telling you, Kevin Durant comparisons, Chris Webber with Anthony Davis cannot get any better. But I got one final build lined up for y'all. Number 3 on this list, as you can see, the playmaking 3-level score. So now, let's just go ahead and finish something off before we get into the actual making. With each and every one of these builds, if you made it to the end, I really just want y'all to know, you are the loyals and who I make these videos for every single day. So if that's you still watching, go ahead and comment down below. RGF or Rich Gang family, I got y'all with the response. I really just want y'all to know and need y'all to know that I appreciate every one of y'all support, but also with the dream and journey that we're building together, man. Without y'all, this would not be possible. Let's go ahead and get back into the making of this third and final build. So, put it under the power forward position, of course. When it comes down to the height, I'm going to be going with 6'8", but if you do decide to go about this a little bit differently, that is definitely okay. Remember to always base off of the builds that I bring to y'all off of your own play style as well as your own preference. Now, for me, I would definitely have to say that when it comes down to any type of build that you make, that should always be a key factor and role taken into account. Now, when it comes down to the finishing on this build, we're going to be able to get a total of 21 badges. Now, also, if you do adjust that vertical, that's going to allow us to get elite contact dunks on this build, which is something that I'm really looking forward to. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the shooting. A total of 27 badges is really going to take this build over the top, especially when you consider how overpowered this build is going to be on both sides of the floor, being the offensive and defensive end. Then from there, as you can see, we got to go ahead and go above an 80 pass accuracy to get the build name. So I'm going to go with an 82, 80 ball handle, and a maxed out speed with ball for another total of 22 playmaking badges. Now remember, this is a 6'8" build, so the playmaking and the shooting are going to be a little bit more better than the previous two. Now let's go ahead and wrap it up with the defensive end of these badges. So I'm going to raise my perimeter defense to an 86. As for the block, I'm going to go ahead and pair it up pretty much evenly with the steal, going with an 83 and an 82 steal. Then for the rebounding, I'm going to bring up my offensive to a 74, defensive to an 88, and that's going to allow us to get a total of 28 defensive badges. Now we still have the physicals that we do need to work with, so just be sure when it comes down to this part of the build that you are going with at least an 80 vertical, so we are able to unlock all of the contact dunks on this build. Now, when it comes down to the stamina, this should be really basing off of your own playstyle and preference with what you want. I'm really comfortable with a 90, but if you feel like going about this any different way, remember you can always do so and base it off of what you feel like is going to put you in the best area for success. Now, this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like once we go ahead and wrap it up with the badges. As you can see, the takeovers we get are the shot creating, sharpshooting, playmaking, and then also we do get the elite lockdown defender takeover. Now, I'm going to leave this up to you which takeovers you pick, but man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and turn on post notifications to join the Rich Gang family. Hit that like button and do not forget to leave a comment down below when complete. I love y'all, I thank y'all, and as y'all can see by the looks of the title, we have made the Playmaking 3-level scorer build. I appreciate y'all to those of you who made it to the end. Thank you, God, for this opportunity, and Rich out.